about that, guys. I just got home, had to grab the microphone. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I'm still in work clothes and everything. I just got home. So originally, I was going to schedule this for 8 o'clock, and then I realized I wouldn't be home in time, so I rescheduled for 8:30. And I walked in the door at like 8:28. So I let the dogs outside, and then had to set this up. But hopefully, the audio is working. Just turned my computer on. I'm going to try to get into the chat and see what's going on here. Fish and Floor was the first one. Well said, Baron. I thought we were starting at 7. Guess I have some time to kill. I think Steven left us for a woman. Jupiter One says that. That's funny. Um, so yeah, it should have been. I did a community post that was, I think, a couple days ago. That I was going to do it at 8 o'clock. Um, I would have done 7. I would have done 7, but I knew I wouldn't be home. I was actually at my parents' house for dinner, and I took the pups, and my aunt came over with her 2 dogs now, and it was a big, like, doggy play date. And I don't want to say her name, but the pit bull. I mean, I just went live, and she's already snoring at my feet, like she's exhausted. Um, I don't want to wake her up, but if she starts getting loud, let me know. All right, but hopefully, is the audio working? I hope everything's working. Let me see. Yep, audio's working. Cool. All right, so the tank behind me, the algae mess, if you will, has been doing awesome. It's been doing fantastic. Um, you guys know that this has the brilliant bristlenose plecos, and they finally were starting to breed for me. Like the first year I've had them, I got 3 babies out of them. And then I don't know, however many months ago, I got 9 more babies. So I went from 3 babies to, you know, another 9, which was sweet. And then the other, I don't know if it was this week or last week, I found even more babies. So they're just making a little factory, which is awesome. Um, so Tink's doing good, and I honestly I just stopped cleaning it. I just let the algae go, and it's just making everything boom. I see super red babies in there as well, so it's just doing good. The Vienna guppies are. I still think I have too many males in there. They're kind of slowing down on production, if you will. And I think it's just the females are so stressed out. I just need to move more males out. Um, but yeah, they're still Vienna babies, and it's doing good. It's nothing to look at, but it's a productive tank. Lady Melhead, good to see you. She said, "You're my boy, Blue." Um, Jupiter One says, "Yep, haircut all freshened up. He's married. I am not married." So I was at my house, and my aunt was asking if I was going to do a topic tonight, and I told her what the topic was going to be, and I was like, "Yeah, people are guessing." Because the title of the stream was "Why You Don't See Me Much Anymore." You guys know I haven't been on here very much in the last 6 to 8 months. Like I stopped doing the live streams and just the content in general over the last 12 months. So it was actually 12 months ago, I don't know, this month or so, last spring, I decided to stop doing hard goods. And I would just sell what I had. And I told you guys I have 2 rooms in my house full of stuff. There's still plenty of hard goods left. Um, I was like, money wise, it wasn't making sense for me to keep doing all the hard goods. So that was like a year ago. And at that time, this is the story. So if you guys are here for a cliffhanger ending, I'm not going to make you wait an hour or something. We'll just get right into it. So if you're watching this on the replay, I'll tell you about why I haven't been here lately. And Lady Melhead, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It says, "Take care of yourself. The Melheads love you." Well, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. So about a year ago, when I started like scaling back all the fish stuff, I started noticing I was getting really, I guess the easiest word to describe it is lazy. I just didn't really find motivation to do much. And to be honest, and I was just really tired. And it's like, on the weekends, I'd be like, all right, I need to do this, this, and this. And I just like, I don't want to do any of it. and I thought it was like depression. To be honest, I was like, well, maybe it's seasonal depression or something. Um, and that was like last summer and stuff like that. I was starting to lose interest in the tanks. Last fall, specifically, it was right before Thanksgiving. I was actually at Ohio Fish Rescue. Um, and to be honest, I don't remember. Oh, it was the OCA, the Ohio Cichlid Association, the extravaganza, whenever that was, right before Thanksgiving. Um, I was up at Ohio Fish Rescue Saturday, and Sunday I went to pick up my dogs, and I had another heart episode. And I guess if you don't know, 4 years ago, and this is how I got into the hobby. So here's a little history. 4 years ago, I had it's called an SVT. It's basically a misfire, if you will, of your heart. So your heart runs on electricity, uh, like for real. It runs on electricity. It gets these pulses of electrical current or signal to beat, and an SVT. It's super ventricle tachycardia, I think is how you say it. Basically, what that is it's a misfire, if you will, of the heart. And I woke up one morning. It was during the week because I went to work. I woke up. I'm like, man, my chest doesn't feel right. So I went to work, and then I started getting anxiety about it, and the it just didn't feel right. So I went to there's like a not an urgent care, but a clinic like right down the road from my work. Went to the clinic. I told them I was like, yeah, I don't feel right. Like my chest feels weird. I just want to get checked out. And the nurse like takes your temperature, and then she took my blood pressure and took my heart rate. Well, the nurse like leaves the room, and the doctor. It's not even a doctor at the clinic. It's like a nurse practitioner. She comes in and she takes my heart rate, and she's like, "So we called 911," and right then, as soon as they said that, I just panic attack. Never had a panic attack before in my life. Boom, got my first one, and I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Your heart rate's 220 beats a minute, and you're just sitting here." And the cool thing, I guess, funny thing, cool thing, is if this building is the clinic, right across the street is the fire station. So the ambulance came right across the street. And originally I was like, oh, I'll just drive myself. And they're like, no, like you need to go to the hospital right now. So I got in the ambulance, and on the way to the hospital, to try to stop my heart rate from going that high, um, they administered this drug. I don't know the name of it. I was gonna say I forget it, but I don't know if I ever really knew the name. But this drug stops your heart, and then your heart starts beating again. And what that's supposed to do is like reset the electrical signals. So the best way I can describe that is lots of pain. And people like when your heart stops, like it wasn't in your chest. It felt like it was in my back. It felt like somebody was parked a car on my back. So they stopped my heart, and then it started back up. And they told me they're like, your heart's gonna stop for a second or 2 seconds, and then it'll be right back. And they're like, we're administering it now. And it was like boom, like holy cow, like take your breath away, painful. And then but the heart rate was right back to 220. Um, so they did it a second time. Painful, heart rate was right back up to 220. So then the worst part was they got the sticky pads out. So like I call it the paddles. And when people like when I was telling the story after it happened, I told people it was the paddles. It's not like paddles like if you think of a TV show where they rub them together and go clear. Well, they're pads. They're sticky pads, and they put one. I think one was here, and the other one was on my side, and they shocked me. So they did the clear boom. So I thought that fixed it, but when I was reading the notes from my cardiologist, and they're not. My cardiologist said that they're not supposed to do that when you're awake. That's supposed to be like a last ditch effort, but they did it. In her notes, it said that didn't even fix it. I thought it fixed it after that, but apparently it didn't. So that was like 4 years ago. Long story short, that happened 4 years ago. The only thing that came out of that was I got severe anxiety after that day. So I was battling um, panic attacks like daily for like a couple weeks, and then they kind of started smoothing out, and then Everything was all right. Then I would get the random like irregular heartbeats, but the SVTs were done. Um, Melissa Liquid Zoo, good to see you. So Melissa had a similar issue. They ended up having fry some electrical leads to her heart. So yes, so when I saw the cardiologist when I was in the ER, they said if it becomes an issue, like my cardiologist, she said this could be a one-time thing, and you never have this issue again, or it could be reoccurring. If it's reoccurring, then they can go in. They basically force your heart to do it again, and they can see what electrical lead is causing that issue, and they can basically, I don't know if it's like cauterize it or whatever they do, but they stop it from being able to do that. I was like, okay, like cool. Then it turned out that one of my friends I didn't know had that issue, and they actually had that surgery, and they were able to fix it. She had it like real frequently. It's the craziest thing when your heart's going like that crazy. You like the blood pressure machine doesn't even read your blood pressure at that point. Um, so yeah, so I didn't have like any issues. The only issues I really had was the main stuff was anxiety and panic attacks, um, and then the irregular heartbeats, which were pretty random. So that was 4 years ago. So this past fall, after the day after the OCA, I go pick up my dogs from my parents' house because they watched my dogs over the weekend. Picked up my dogs, just driving home. Boom, SVT in my truck on the way home. And like when it hits because like it's like somebody hits you with a baseball bat when your heart goes like out of rhythm. It's noticeable. So it's like bam. I was like, oh no. And then so I don't think I had my Fitbit on back then. So I had a Fitbit like when I this happened 4 years ago because I used it as like a comfort device. I could be like, okay, my heart rate's okay. My heart rate's okay. So I was good, didn't have it, but like taking my pulse, I'm like, oh yeah, like it's SVT. Went home. The only thing I think my Fitbit was dead, but my blood pressure machine, I always keep track of my blood pressure. It's always good. It's always like 120 over 80, 110 over 70, 115. It's always pretty good. Um, so I hook up the machine. The machine's just reading error on the blood pressure. It's just like error, error. But it did read the heart rate, and it was at 190. So I'm like, all right, I'm not dying. I just gotta relax. And with the irregular heartbeats, when I get them, I've had somewhere it lasts like hours and hours. Like I might wake up with an irregular heartbeat, and then at lunchtime it's gone. Or I might get it right before I go to bed. I go to sleep, wake up, I'm good. So I went to bed, woke up, the SVT was gone. Um, Gave me all my anxiety came back, and I was off my anxiety meds. So I got off anxiety meds like a year ago. I was doing good, no panic attacks. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be dependent on medicine because my anxiety med, if I miss it for like 36 hours, I always take it in the morning. So let's say I take it today and I forget to take it tomorrow. Come Sunday morning, I'll be sick. I have withdrawal symptoms. It makes me real dizzy and nauseous if I miss it for like 36 hours or longer. Um, and I didn't want to be dependent on that because, like, if I went to Ohio Fish Rescue and I forgot to take my medicine, by the time I would leave and come home, I'd be sick. So I didn't want to be dependent on anxiety meds. So, like a year ago, I stopped taking them, and I was doing good. Other than being tired, I was real tired last summer. Um, so I'm jumping around. Sorry, squirrel. So this past Thanksgiving, had the SVT. All my anxiety came back. In December, I started having panic attacks over it because my heart just felt weird. You know how if you have anxiety, you know what I mean. Like you panic over everything, and that's related, I guess. So I started having panic attacks in December. Um, Went to my family doctor, and I went back onto my anxiety meds, and I was telling them I was having this pain. You can't see it, but like the top of my stomach, bottom of my chest, and like my anxiety is always about my heart. So he said, it sounds like it's a stomach acid reflux, but go see your cardiologist to help ease your mind and make sure nothing's going on. The reason why I have all this anxiety is my mom's side of the family has a gene Um, I don't know the specific name. It's a the name of the gene like that the doctors talk about. It's called BAG6. I think it's a protein gene, but I'm not sure. But the gene is basically heart failure. The heart muscle doesn't work efficiently. So I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's the muscle gets too thin, but my mom had it or has it, and she got diagnosed with it like 20 years ago, and she's doing good. Um, my cousin has it and just got a heart transplant in like February. She was on a heart transplant list for like 6 years, and she just got a heart transplant. And she's doing good. And she just got tested yesterday, I think, for like transplant rejection. And she's like 1A, which is really good. So now she doesn't have to go like every week for testing or every couple weeks. She can go like once a month now. And then the more you test like negative rejection, the more they can step out. So that's a big deal. Her father, my uncle, passed away from the heart failure. And then my other aunt has it too. So the heart failure is a big thing on my mom's side of the family. It's just a gene, and it's just we're born with it, right? Um, so January comes, I start having irregular heartbeats daily, and for like a week straight. I'm like, all right, this is not normal. Like I would get a regular heartbeat randomly, but now I've had it every single day for a week straight. Like this is not right. So that gave me more anxiety. Like, all right, let me get into the cardiologist. Made an appointment. Go for it's like basic testing. They do EKG. They talk about like your habits. Do you drink alcohol? How much do you drink? Um, do you smoke? Do you do drugs? All that stuff. EKG comes back fine, which it always does because my heart's always beating fine when I'm at like the doctor's. It's never like irregular. So then we scheduled more testing for I think it was like a couple weeks later, which was a echocardiogram, which is a sonic. Is it sonic or I think it's sonogram. It's like when you're pregnant, where they have like it's not X-ray, but you know what I'm talking about of my heart. So went got the echocardiogram, and the big mic drop is I was diagnosed with heart failure. So that was about a month ago. I found out I have heart failure. So my heart isn't pumping uh, blood as well as it should. Um, so I found out, and once I found out that I had and I kept this quiet from everybody. My family didn't know. Nobody knew about these issues. That it's been a year of like some minor stuff, like being tired all the time, but it was like the last like 5 months I was really going downhill. And so I finally told my family. I was like, "Hey, just so you guys know, I was diagnosed with heart failure, and it's my mom's side of the family who I'm talking about. So they already know, like, they know the history of the family. So I messaged my family and I told them, and then like a week later, I decide I would tell my friends. So I made a Facebook post and I was like, "Look, guys, I was diagnosed with heart failure, so all my close friends know, like, my mom had it, my cousin has it, uh, you know." So it was like, all right, I'm gonna just tell everybody. There's no point of not telling people because it could be good, it could be bad, the outcome. So let's just get it out in the open now. So, um, yeah. So I decided to tell you guys about it. Um, Looking back, I should have, honestly noticed the signs a little bit better. If you guys, a lot of you guys have been around for a long time. If you, I don't know if maybe it wasn't noticeable, but like a year ago, I was always drinking coffee during the live streams. The problem, and I guess I should explain that better. So in January, where I was having the irregular heartbeats for like a week straight, and I was like, "This isn't right. This isn't normal." The other thing I noticed was not normal was I was going to bed like 7:30, 8 o'clock every night. So like up until December, yeah, up until December, I would always be up till midnight or 1 o'clock. Ultrasound, sonic sound, ultrasound. Yeah, duh. Thanks, Don. I would always be up till like midnight or 1 o'clock. You know, I would come home from work, do my fish things, uh, maybe watch some TV with the dogs, and then I would maybe play a video game with my friends. And I always like cut myself off like midnight if I was playing a video game. Cut myself off at midnight, go to bed, maybe would lay awake for half an hour or so, fall asleep by 1 o'clock, wake up for work, repeat. 6 hours of sleep, right? Well, January or end of December, it was like a light switch. I went from staying up till midnight one to like 7:30. I would be in bed at 7:30 every single night, and so I remember telling one of my friends that I was like, I'm kind of worried about that. Like, I'm in bed by like 8 o'clock, and the response was, "You're getting old." But it's like one of those things where like you don't like. I felt like I shouldn't be going to bed at midnight, and then all of a sudden like I'm struggling to stay up till 7:30. Like that's crazy. So uh, I just got a super chat from my mom. Thank you so much for the $30. I just left her house. If you guys who came in late, I was at my parents' house. So yeah, I would go to bed 7:30, and I would sleep until 6:30, 7 the next morning, and that was like every night. And that was the other kind of red flag was I am super tired. Like, why am I so tired? And I told my cardiologist that, and that's when we were like, all right, let's do the ultrasound. And yeah, so we found that out like 2 weeks ago, I think. 2 weeks ago, something like that. A few weeks ago was the ultrasound. Um, so I guess the next step, and that's kind of why I stopped doing the live streams like in December. A lot of people were like, there was comments on the community post, and even back then, uh, I'm getting married and girlfriend. That's why I'm not. No, it's just I was too tired to do the live streams. So speaking about how I was tired, if you go back a year ago to my live streams, I was drinking a lot of coffee uh, during the live streams, talking about like it's leaded, and like sometimes like if I had to work the next day, I'd be like, it's not leaded, it's just coffee. That was just so I could stay awake. And then late summer, I started moving my live streams earlier, like 7 o'clock, and I was like, man, this is so much better because I was struggling to stay awake, and that was not really a big red flag, but it was a little bit like um, a little bit. I was just super tired, but yeah. Um, Zen said, "I thought you were just busy and burnt out." Honestly, yeah. I mean, I did get burned out of a lot of stuff with the videos. I've always said, I mean, mostly it's true. I won't do a video just to be filler material. I try to only film stuff I'm doing. But even then, like if you guys know, like I got a ton of content I filmed that I never edited did. Um, Stuff I was doing. I'm gonna take some water real quick. Sorry. Stuff I was doing, I would record. And it's like I was all gun ho recording stuff, and then I would just lose interest in it. Like as soon as I got it recorded, I put it on the computer. Then that was it. I was done. Like interested. So hey, Von Yinzer, good to see you. Um, But yeah, so if you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably would saw this info. I know the Melheads. That's why Mrs. Melhead, again, thank you for the $10 super chat. Said take care of yourself before I told you guys. They saw it on Facebook. They're friends with me on Facebook. They're good people, so they already knew about it. But and I think when I was at OCA, we were actually talking about the SVT. I know I was talking to Josh about it, and because I think Josh has AFib maybe too. Um, so yeah, that's where I guess I've been is just going to bed early and avoiding work. So I think the biggest thing I hate about it is the wanting to do stuff but no energy to do it. So I started the second channel, which is actually doing pretty good. I mean, I don't have like any subs. I got like 70 subs maybe. But I got a couple videos that are doing pretty good on it, and it was like fixing stuff around the house, which is pretty cool. I was going to see. Actually, I'm logged. Oh, I'm logged into that chat. So okay, I gotta switch. That's why I can't see certain things because I realize I'm on the wrong. I'm on the wrong channel. Sorry. Hold on for just 1 second, guys. I'm trying to. Yeah, so I replaced a leaking spigot, like a faucet, on the side of my house. 7,000 views, which is pretty good for my channel. I'm a real small channel, so that's cool to see that. Um, yeah, replacing the faucet for the fish room in my washer dryer. I replaced that. Um, it's got 1,500 views. Like most of my videos are like a few hundred views. It's just my I don't know if do I call you guys like my diehard subscribers or whatever. But yeah, so that channel's got 72 subs, which that's cool. So I started that channel doing car stuff. When did I upload that video? 5 months ago. So right when all this heart stuff started happening. Sorry. And so the channel actually started over a year ago, but it didn't really post anything. But 5 months ago, I started doing my car stuff. So my Honda that's in the garage. And that's when I started having the heart issues. And that was me trying to keep my mind off it because with anxiety, the anxiety is because I think about the problem. So, like, if I think I have a heart issue, the anxiety builds and builds and snowballs. So, if I keep busy, then I don't have the issue. That's how this fish channel started. So, right after I had that SVT 4 years ago, I started fish keeping. Um, it, I had a fish tank. I had two fish tanks. I had the 75 and then that Fluval, like 25 gallon or 29 gallon, whatever it is. It's got rainbow fish in it right now. Um, but those were the two tanks I had. Fake plants, didn't have real plants, nothing. I had those fish tanks, and what got me into it was, after after my first SVT and I had all that anxiety, I was sitting at home. I was afraid to go do stuff, and I was watching YouTube, and a random link popped up, and it was a sand fall. Um, and I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen was the sand fall in a fish tank. I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to make that. And I love building stuff. So I was like, all right, how do I build this? And I'm like, wait, you can make fake rock walls out of concrete for your aquarium using foam. You put the concrete on it. So I was hooked. And I was like, let me build this and running the air lines through it so you couldn't see it. And that's how they made the waterfall work. I loved it. And that's how the 75 gallon, it's still like that. Haven't changed it, which I want to change. I hate the 75 gallon now, but um, the I rehomed the Kissing Gourami, so I like that tank a little bit more. That Kissing Gourami was buddies with Jake, which is the Randa goldfish, but the Kissing Gourami did not like the other goldfish, and I was just like, you know what, this guy's kind of a dick, so I rehomed him. Uh, and the other goldfish is way more happy. The other goldfish is up at the top now, and Jake is still happy as can be. The giant Daniels are doing good. So yeah, 75. mm, It, I want to make it a planted tank, which I'm not going to be able to do a planted tank how I want to with the goldfish in it. But the Jake, the random goldfish, is just too cool to get rid of. So as long as they're doing good in that tank, I'm gonna keep it as is. And I'm squirreling because now I forget where I was going with this. Oh, so how the whole fish thing started. So then once I did the underwater, that's what I used to call it, the underwater waterfall. It's just called a sandfall basically, but I did the sandfall and then I got linked to I think it was Flip Aquatics. It's somehow I got to Flip Aquatics and that's when I learned about shrimp. Didn't even know that was a thing. So Neo Caridina is what basically got me into multiple tank syndrome, if you will. And I found Flip Aquatics, and I didn't know that there's freshwater shrimp. Didn't even know that was a thing. I thought shrimp were just things you ate, and that was it, and from the sea. So I didn't know there was freshwater shrimp, and I was watching his videos, and I'm like, there's red ones and blue ones? Like, and then I didn't know about reelies and, tigers and fancies and all the kinds. I just knew about red and blues, and I was like, those things look awesome. So I went to, I think I got them from my local fish store. Went and got red ones. They were like $6, I think, a piece. So I bought like 5 of them. Maybe they were more than $6 a piece. Maybe they were $8 a piece. I don't know. They weren't cheap. So I bought like 5 of them. And then I started watching more videos, and Flip Aquatic said that, like, oh, if you're trying to get a colony going, you need like at least 10, but you should get 20. I'm like, all right. So I ordered 20 from Flip Aquatics, got them in the mail. I didn't know that you could fish. I didn't know you could ship fish or snails or shrimp through the mail. I didn't know that was a thing. Now it's like nothing. Like, I ship fish through the mail all the time, but back then I was like, that blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And of course, pretty much all the fish you ever see in a local store come through the mail. You know what I mean? So whether they come from like Seagrass Farms or 5D, or if they import directly from overseas, pretty much all the fish are shipped. So yeah. I see a lot of member stuff popping up. I will check that out in a second. Oh, I need to switch. My account. So yeah, I scrolled. Let me switch over to the SC account. Boom, switched. Done. Let me get off top chat and go to the live chat. Boom, done. So yeah, scrolling. Cichlids23, good to see ya. If I miss you, I'm so sorry. Texas Fish Room, good to see ya. Liquid Zoo, thank you so much for putting up the link to the second channel. If you guys are here and you wouldn't mind hitting that sub button on the second channel, you don't have to turn on the notification bell. I know cars aren't interesting, but hit that sub button. That would help me out a lot. I appreciate it. The Zen Ginger, welcome to Fish Hobbyist. Well, thank you so much, Zen. Metalheads, member for 20 months. Jeez. It says, it's been longer than a month. Times 20. Well, thank you guys so much for the continued support. Baron Von Yenzer, still a member, hardcore SC fan, will stay one until the channel goes away. I found SC through someone who wouldn't promote him, even with all he did. I found SC through someone who wouldn't promote him, even with all he did. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much for being here. Metalheads. Okay, the thing just told me a month now. I look like a jackass. It's 20 months. My screen shows for 20 months. Josh, a little preview thing is always wrong now. I do know what's up with that. I had a thing pop up about my membership anniversary. Can't recall how to post it. It's under the super chat option. Baron Von Yenzer, 18 months. Guys, you guys you're killing it. I know it's been more than a month. LOL. Proud to support Steven and his channel. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. And I'm watching an ad on my own channel. I wasn't paying attention and I didn't hit skip. And it's an earwax removal. It looks like a screw. I don't know. Anyways, I think I'm catching up. Mike, good to see you. Go on to pay a visit. Mike, so that's your auto feeder sitting right here. You won that in that giveaway I did when I hit 3,000 subs. And there's 2 other people that won stuff, and I don't know whose stuff they are. I never got an email. They were supposed to email. It was 3 of the check valves and Stress Coat Plus, like the smaller bottle. So I don't know who won these, but somebody won these. But I never got an email with whoever won it and their address. So they're still sitting here. I didn't like give them away. Although I think the stress coat, I think the stress coat might be expired now. Well, expired. That just so you guys know, all the products have a two year life is what they have to stamp. So the date of manufacture it has to be 2 years. Um, lot number expiration, yeah, 4/22. So 3 weeks ago it expired. If you don't want it, cool. I will use it myself if not, because that doesn't even medications. I don't have any sitting here. General cure stuff like that, if it's got expiration, I still use it. But I usually turn them through medication. The reason I was giving that stuff away is like the stress coat doesn't like sell, so it's been sitting. So that's why I was like, let me just give it away. But it's still good. Metalheads dropped a $50 membership a few months back, so I've been dispensing it to channels that deserve it. SC is one of them. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. $50 membership. Holy hell! Yeah, that's a lot. Sorry, guys, drinking up. I don't talk a whole lot, so when I start talking during live streams, my throat just gets dry. Oh, thanks, Zen. I canceled a few unnecessary channels, so I had some wiggle room in the allowance. Couldn't go to a nicer fellow. Well, thank you so much. I actually went through and canceled a couple myself. Uh, and to be honest, I mean, I'll probably go back eventually. But I was a member to the co-op for I feel like years. I did end up canceling it, and to be honest, and I don't know why this bugs. I have this like OCD thing. I can't show you because I'm using my phone. Every time I get the little pop-up notification, like if you have an iPhone, it's a little like red balloon. That drives me nuts. I have to. I can't have those on my phone. So like if I get an email, it's like you got one email. It's a little red one. I gotta open it and get rid of it. So I either read the email or I just delete it if it's spam. I hate notifications on my phone. I know it's my tick, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. And I was just getting so many notifications, and I turned them off. I don't know why I was still getting them, but I went to the app and I turned off notifications. But the co-op, I would get a notification from like Zen, like, "Hey, we're gonna go live later today," and then like it felt like maybe it was hours, but it felt like 20 minutes later. Hey, it's Zenzo. Get questions ready. We can see if Corey will answer them, and then it would be like right before the live stream. Hey, we're about to go live. Be ready. I was getting tired of all the notifications. Um, I love I love the membership there. Don't take this negative. Super like their membership's probably the best membership on. Oh, granted, I'm not that member of many channels, but the co-op's probably got the best membership perks, if you will. You know, I forget what it is. I think I was doing like $5 or maybe it's $3. I don't know. It wasn't very much, but to get those videos of all the I was gonna say speeches. What's that called? Speakers, speakers. Totally worth it. Getting their discount, sure. I don't need the discount because I buy my own wholesale stuff. The best membership is to fishfam.link. Fishfam, is that the website of the YouTuber stuff? Or is there a YouTube channel for that? Because I didn't know about that. Xanadudu, good to see you. You are one of my favorite streams. FYI, good to see you. Plus, hey, Fish Fam friends. Good to see you, buddy. Zen says that was probably Zenzo trying to cut down the amount. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So, I do the same thing because I don't know what is up with YouTube. So I because I haven't been doing live streams. I know the algorithms like ignore SC Aquatics, right? So I made the community post a couple days in advance, like, hey, like I try to let you guys know, like if you guys see the community post, because I don't even know if that gets alerts you guys. Like I don't know. The dog is asleep in the hallway. Like normally she faces me. don't know if you'll be able to see her. No, the tank's in the way. Normally she faces me, and she'll fall asleep. Her butt's facing me, and she's just out. She's exhausted from being at grandma's house, which is awesome. I had to work last Saturday, so I didn't get to sleep in. So I was like, man, I just want to sleep in tomorrow. Well, Charlotte will get me up, unless she's tired. She'll get me up at like 7 o'clock. She won't like wake up and bark, but she'll get up, like look at me, like hop back on the bed. She does that up down, and you might as well just get up at that point. So I took both the dogs to my parents, their grandparents. Um, my aunt brought her dog that it's Havana's boyfriend, basically. It's a big dog. I don't know what kind of dog he is. Big. He's like, I don't know, 100 pounds or something. He's a big boy. Um, he looks like a German Shepherd Husky something mix. I don't know. He's big. And Havana just chases him and wrestles. The first time, my aunt thought Havana was going to kill him, to be honest. Because Havana does this thing. I know she's playing, but she grabs his neck. And, like, you see a pit bull grab a dog's neck, you think it's trying to eat him. No, she, like, pulls his fur and pulls him by his neck. Well, now he does it back to her, and it's like no big deal. Everybody's comfortable. But my aunt brought her new dog, which is this little thing. It's like a little Springer Spaniel Beagle mix, maybe. It's like 9 months old. Well, Havana was, I don't want to say rough. She was like really trying to like sniff her, and like Havana's head weighs more than this dog. I'll just say that. So she was kind of like knocking her over, and like, my aunt was a little standoffish towards it, but I kept Havana away. The one that was beating up the dog was Charlotte. With Havana and my aunt's big dog, his name's Vader. So if you remember the Star Wars fish tank, that's my aunt. Her dog's name is Vader. The new dog is Princess Leia. Her old dog that passed away was Chewbacca. So, um, so Vader and Havana are like wrestling like, uh, how heavy is Havana? 60-pound pit bull and 100-pound whatever the other dog is, just going at it, right? And then so Charlotte just watches. She'll chase them, but she doesn't get involved. Well, now there's a dog smaller than Charlotte, so she's all excited about the Princess Leia, this little dog, and she just goes up and smacks her, like straight paws her to the face. And I told my aunt I was training her to be a boxer, to be more vicious, but no, she was just trying to play with her, but she kept smacking the little dog. So I had to put her in timeout, but it was cute. But that's the first time they met the new dog, so the more they meet her, the more they'll chill out and be more friends. But Vunions said I got the notification of the live stream, just got caught up talking with the wife and dealing with a third new pup. Third new pup. We were talking about. Mr. Mellowhead said Charlotte is Palpatine. That is funny. Yeah, it was really funny. She was like, her ears, like when she's excited, her ears go forward, Charlotte's, and she like, is super cute. And she's looking at it and she just goes whack and just smacks the shit out of the dog. I thought it was kind of funny, but I was like, you can't beat up the dog because it's smaller than you. But yeah, it was funny. So my energy, I guess we'll kind of scroll back to the whole heart failure thing. So they put me on meds, two different meds. That one's kind of like a blood thinner, I guess is the best way to describe it. One's a beta blocker, which my cardiologist says that just kind of smooths everything out to help keep my heart from being stressed. So I have I forget what it's called. I think it's like cardiomyopathy. I don't know if that's how you say it. I have a high resting heart rate, so that's just how I've always been, basically. So let's say your heart rate, if you're sitting here like I am right now, let's say your heart rate might be 70 beats a minute or something, 60 at rest. Let's say 60 to 70 is at rest. Mine at rest would always be like at least 100 beats a minute, and there's a medical term for that. And it wouldn't matter if I was doing cardio or what, but my heart rate was always at rest high. So like if I was like really relaxed watching TV, it might be 90 beats a minute, which is up there. Working on cars, my heart rate would be like 120s to 130s, and then sometimes 140s, to the point where my Fitbit, it has this thing where it's like a fat burn zone. Like when it sees you like working out and your heart rate's at a certain rate, it's a fat burn zone is what Fitbit calls it, which is supposed to be the ideal heart rate to burn fat. Well, I was hitting that goal like every single day because my heart rate was just so high. Like my normal heart rate was high, so they gave me this beta blocker that just kind of mellows out my heart, which is supposed to help keep it less stressed, if you will, because once you hit uh, certain percentage of your heart function, and you go from normal condition to I forget the name for like you got a little bit of heart issues to like moderate to severe and like heart failure, and then you're in heart failure. My mom, when she got diagnosed, was in heart failure. She went from straight from the echocardiogram straight into the hospital. I'm not there. I have heart failure, but I'm not like in heart failure. So they gave me the medication to smooth everything out, and I had to start that, and then I had to wait a couple days to start the second one. So the second one was it's a combination drug. It's actually two different drugs in one pill, um, from what I read, and that one is supposed to like slow my heart rate down by the first one I think is like a beta blocker and it's supposed to like kind of maybe thin the blood a little bit. The second one is the same thing, um, and but the second one is rough, can be rough on your kidneys, to where you have to start testing to make sure you don't get kidney failure. Um, so I started that a couple days later, and the first few days I was real like sicky feeling. I guess if I was a kid, I would call it sicky feeling, kind of nauseous, just like that feeling in your throat where you're just like, ugh. Um, so one of two things. I don't know. It was most likely the medications. I just started two meds that are pretty harsh for me. Like, I typically don't take anything except for maybe an ibuprofen if I get a headache randomly, and then my anxiety meds. And I didn't like taking the anxiety meds because if I forgot it, I got sick, like I said. So my system was getting hit pretty hard with these meds. I felt kind of sick for a couple of days, and then it kind of went away. Um, so let's see, my echocardiogram. I think it was a Friday. No, it was a Thursday, Wednesday, when Wednesday. It was Wednesday. So my EKG was like a Thursday or Friday. My echocardiogram was like a Wednesday. It was in the morning, so I was going to go get it and come back to work. So I went and got the echocardiogram in the morning, and I actually got a panic attack during that, which was horrible. So they got the thing. Let's go with a screwdriver prop. So they got the thing. They're doing this on your chest, looking at your heart, and I'm laying on my side as they're doing it. And they do all that, and then they like turn on some sounds. You can actually hear your heart, which is kind of freaky to hear because it's like bloop 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 bloop. It's not like boop boop. It's like you can actually hear like fluid movement, kind of freaky. And then towards the end, she's like, "So I can't see your left side of your heart, or left chamber, maybe. I don't know what she said. She's like, I can't see this part of your heart." So immediately, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I got heart issues." Because up to this point, it was all anxiety that I'm having heart issues. I'm having heart issues. And then when she said she couldn't see part of it, I was like, anxiety can just hit, and it was like, boom. I'm like, and she's like, she's like, that's just a thing though. Like, not everybody you can see it. She's like, we have this dye we can give you through an IV, um, we give you this dye through the IV that I don't know if it's a dye. It's this stuff that basically allows the ultrasound to pick up your heart better. So I call it a dye. Maybe it's not really a dye, but it's some sort of stuff. And she said, I think she said you end up exhaling it out, if I remember right. Grant, I'm in a panic attack at this point, so I'm not exactly sure. But I'm pretty sure she said you end up exhaling it out within like 5 minutes. So I think it goes through your blood, and then the blood takes it to your lungs. Zen Ginger says contrast. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Are you a nurse, Zen Ginger? I can't remember what you do. Um, so they gave me that. Well, so here's uh, so I'm already like getting anxiety from the fact she can't see my heart, and like, okay, so she's like, well, I can't give you that because it's just I don't know if it's a rad tech or whatever her position is. She's a technician for that machine. She's not a nurse. She's like, well, I have to call a nurse over from the cardiology department's like a building, a separate building from the main hospital, but it's like attached basically. She's like, we just got to have a nurse come over. I was like, okay, cool. And like, she called and couldn't get a hold of him. So then I'm like, is she panicking? Like, am I in heart failure right now? And she's trying to get a nurse here because they got to take me to like the ER. That's what happens when you have anxiety. So that's going through my head like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So then she tries calling him again. She gets a hold of him. She's like, yeah, and like she didn't even say like I need you for this. Like the nurse, like it must be such a frequent thing. The nurse just knows like, hey, if this person calls me, they need this. So the nurse comes. It's this other lady, and she's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm okay. Like she's like, you okay with getting this IV? I was like, yeah, yeah, no problem. And yeah, it's a problem. So I can't see if I get blood drawn, I just can't look at it. If I look at it, I get super lightheaded. I have never passed out, knock on wood. I've never passed out, but I can't deal with needles in my own arms. If I saw somebody else get stabbed, I'd probably be like, oh. But if it's me, no, I go pale, I start sweating, and I want to pass out, but I never pass out. I'm too hard headed to pass out. I'm not going to be that guy. But so normally I always get compliments that they get to my vein right away. Well, she puts the rubber band around my arm, and she does and I can feel her like pulling my skin tight and like trying to find it. So then I'm like, she can't find my vein. It's because my heart's not pumping. Like that's what goes through your head when you're anxiety attack, right? So um, that's what I'm thinking. So at that point, it went from anxiety attack to a panic attack. Boom, start pouring sweat, right? She got it. She had it. She's like, you're gonna feel the pinch. Feel the pinch. That doesn't bother me. Like I feel, I'm like, but so I start sweating, and then I realize, and this is my trigger. My trigger for a panic attack is when I know I'm panicking. So then I realize I'm sweating. So that went from the full anxiety to panic. So but then I'm getting lightheaded. I'm starting to feel dizzy. I'm like, oh, and I didn't say anything. I'm stubborn. I won't say something if I know something's wrong. So I didn't say anything. I was sitting there, and I finally, I know I'm sweating, so I go like this, and I wipe my forehead. And the nurse goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, I'm sweating. And she's like, "How do you feel?" I'm like, I'm kind of lightheaded. And she's like, "Oh, let's." All of a sudden, it was like light switch flip. They prop my feet up with a pillow because I'm laying on this bed, and they prop my feet up, and then like literally 30 seconds later, it goes away. Boom, feel great. And, they're still worried, like, are you okay? Like, you gonna pass out? I'm like, no, I feel great now. I'm like, I'm covered in sweat now, like profusely sweating, and that sucks. I'm like, well, I'm good. So she ended up getting me like a wet cloth, and I was able to like wash my face. Anyways, and then she's like, all right, well, you're done. The nurse will call you. So that was Wednesday. Uh, Nurse calls me a few hours later. I'm at work, and basically says, you have heart failure. I'm like, okay. She's like, the doctor, your cardiologist is going to do a teleconference tomorrow morning. She's like, what time? I was like, well, earlier the better, so that way I don't miss work. So like 7:30 in the morning. That would have been so Thursday. My cardiologist calls me at 7:30, and she's like, so you got heart failure. With the history of this, we need to do this. We're gonna start you on this medication. Do this, do this, do this. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that phone call, by the way, for 5 minutes cost me $100. My insurance didn't cover it. Like mother effing beeholes. So this stuff's expensive. Like I'm fine, but like my insurance company sucks. Like it's horrible. Um, they haven't covered like out of the total bill for the echocardiogram, which was pre-approved. So when the cardiologist ordered it, I got a letter saying that the insurance company approved the echocardiogram. So I'm like, cool. Like I won't have to fight with them or anything. They covered a third, a third, a third of the cost. So um, with my hospital or my health system, I guess, because like everything's tied together. I can see the notes from all the doctors and like you owe this much money. I'm like, my insurance company hasn't paid for crap yet. Like it said, well, they have paid for crap. They just don't pay that much. And I was like, what? I've always had good health insurance, and what sucks is my company I work for, they change their health supplier like every few years because the health rates go up and up, so they get new contracts. So like when I first started, we had Aetna, and it seemed like Aetna paid for everything, and then we ended up to went to Blue Cross, Blue Shield, something like that. They seem to do good. Now we're with Medical Mutual, and then apparently they suck because I owe the health system a lot of money now. Um, so on these meds, and the meds have been doing pretty good. So for the past week, I've been staying up till 11:30 or midnight. That's huge for me. Going from passed out 7:30 at night to now I got energy till midnight. So that's good. I'm still like not motivated to do much yet. I'm hoping that kind of comes back. And yeah, I got a car with a ton of parts. I have a ton of parts to put on this car. I have a new motor for it that I've had forever. I have so much work I could be doing. And what sucks is like last weekend, I thought like I didn't do anything last weekend. I mean, I did. I went to my sister's house and I cut the grass and stuff around here, but that's basically about all I did. And the whole time I'm thinking like the amount of time I sat at home, you know, watching YouTube or reading these news articles about like Ukraine and stuff like that. Like I could have put some solid hours into the car project, and I'm like, I probably would have that thing on the road right now. It's just hard getting motivation to work on anything. It's really hard. So I'm hoping the motivation comes back for everything, for fish related. I get super excited, like finding all these babies. I get super excited finding the orange laser Corydoras had babies. Like that got me super excited. Um, and then I get super excited for a day, and then I just lose the motivation. It just hits. Um, but yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medical Mutual, never heard of them. And maybe it's a regional thing. Medical Mutual is pretty big around here. Like I've definitely heard of them before we had them, but I'm gonna get to the chat and see where you guys are at. So Mike, I think I saw you. $50 memberships. We talked about that. Nobody tells Steven he can turn off notifications. Dude, I swear I turned off notifications. I went through it. I'm like, I'm tired of getting all these notifications. Like the $5 a month or whatever I was paying, like that's not a big deal. Like I'm cool with supporting the co-op. They've helped me so much throughout the hobby. I used to buy all my stuff from them until I like started getting wholesale stuff. Um, I liked Corey's business model and everything. I love them. No problem supporting them. I just was getting tired of the notification. And I swear I turned them off in my YouTube app and just kept coming. Um, yeah. But I'll go back eventually. Like, especially once I'm out of doing wholesale stuff, then I gotta buy my fish stuff somewhere, and that's probably where I'll go. Charlotte is Palpatine. Okay, so I remember that. That's weird. They don't want me on blood thinners. They said I was too active. So they were just trying to get stress off my heart. And so right now I've been talking a lot. So pre these heart meds, my heart rate would definitely be in like 130s, maybe even 140s talking to you guys. Especially when I was getting tired, getting out of breath. I feel like I'm doing pretty good with not getting out of breath. I used to get out of breath real easy. And that was another thing I noticed. I was at my dad's side of the family's house for Christmas, and I was talking to my uncle, and I caught myself running out of breath talking to somebody. And that's a red flag. Like, look, I know I'm not in great shape. I know it. But, like, I shouldn't be like, so yesterday I went to work and like that. Like I could and I don't know if it was just like a tick I was noticing, like maybe people didn't notice I was running out of breath, but I'm like, if I'm talking to somebody, I shouldn't just be running out of breath, not doing anything. It's not like I just got done exercising and I'm trying to talk. Like that was one of the things I noticed. And that was in December. So with these new meds, so right now, which I'm pretty pumped up to be honest. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm pretty pumped up right now. Heart rate's 94, which is high for a lot of people, I'm sure, but that's low for me. So the meds are working. But to be honest, 100% honest, um, I've been feeling pretty good. Been feeling pretty good. I think a lot of it is that a lot of the anxiety is gone. It's not all gone, but up until I got that word that yes, you have heart failure, for the last 4 years, it's always been a thought in my head. But for the last 5 months, it was the driving force of the anxiety was, I know I have heart failure. I know I have it. I know I have it. And I didn't, the thing was, I didn't do anything actively to uh, combat that, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But like, so since December, I'm like, I have heart failure. I have heart failure. I have heart failure, and then telling my friend like, yeah, like I fall asleep at 7:30, and they're like, oh, you're just getting old, and I'm like, no, no, I have heart failure, and then finally it's like when the doctor told me you have heart failure, it wasn't even like break down, start crying or something. It was like, okay, like you told me, I know, like now it's fact, and it's kind of like, let's all right now let's fix it. So yeah, it wasn't like it was like yeah. I mean, so I took the day off of work, so that was Thursday morning, and it was kind of one of those things where I'm just like, this is a good excuse to call off work. So I told my boss like, hey, I just found out I have heart failure. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna tell my family, because with family, it's I don't. Whenever I have issues, I don't tell people, whether it's not even health related, like whatever. I have car problems, I deal with it, or whatever problems. So I'm like, how do I tell my family? I'm like, I'm not trying to stress out my mom who has heart issues, my aunt has heart issues, my cousin. There's four of us living that have heart issues. My grandpa had it; he's no longer with us, and my uncle had it; he's no longer with us. Um, my uncle had it hard, which is what my cousin, who just got the heart transplant, that was her dad. Like their family got it hit hard with it. Um, and it's a gene, so there's nothing you can do about it. Which sucks because I believe my cousin said that she had her son tested for the gene, and he's got a mutation of it. So I don't know what that means. I think that sounds good because it's not the full gene. It's bad because maybe he's got part of it, but as long as you stay healthy, like it should, you should be okay. Um, was I squirrel? I don't know where I was going with this. Yeah, squirrel aquatics. Now I forget. Um, I guess reading the comment about the blood thinners. So, anyways, I've been feeling pretty good. I am a little bit tired, but I'm not like 2 months ago. I wouldn't be able to do this live stream. I mean, I would be able to, but like all right, struggling to stay awake. I'd be drinking coffee right now. So yeah, I guess after getting the news of hey, you got heart failure, it was like kind of, you know, anxiety went away. Like still, it's still there. So right now, the only anxiety I have right now is the next step in this saga is I have to get a heart catheter next week. So a week from today. So a week, like literally today, a week from today, I have to get a heart catheter. Um, which, from what I understand, it's either they're going to go up through my leg to my heart, or they're actually going to go through my wrist. I would prefer them go through my wrist because they said it's a quicker like recovery time. Like it's less invasive, I guess. I don't know. Either way, because I feel like if I can put my wrist like this and I can look that way, I'll be all right. I'm having anxiety about that because it's a procedure that they're gonna go into my heart with a camera, and it's not a well, maybe it's a camera, but they can test blood flow, oxygen percentage or content, and it's supposed to just be a diagnostic tool to help pinpoint what the issue is in my heart. I guess. I don't know. I gotta do that next week. That's my biggest anxiety right now. But other than that, I feel pretty good. Like, to be honest, I feel pretty good. So I feel like after next Friday, I'm gonna feel real good because then that's off my plate, and it's just like, all right, let's do some workouts, build some cardio, and yeah. Did my screen just lock up? I think we're good. Sorry, I was reading comments on there. If you ever see me just stop and I'm staring, it's because I'm reading comments. I can't multitask. I can't read and talk, it seems like. Um, yeah, so that's the biggest anxiety I have right now. So I think after next Friday, it's just going to be all good. The medications are making me feel pretty good. Um, yeah. So, to show you how far behind in the chat I am, I asked Zen Ginger. She was a nurse. She said, "Oh God, no, I'm an accountant, but I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. Does that count?" Oh, it does count. Only if you stayed at that one hotel chain, Motel 6. Oh, okay. Mickey, good to see you. I was watching the stream in high speed. Sorry to hear about your health issues, man. Glad to see you're looking okay now. Panic attacks can be horrible. Yeah, they suck. Tattoo machine, lots of needles. I'm good. Injections, IVs. F me running. No, thank you. Yeah, I got a tattoo. I mean, I had some anxiety getting a tattoo, but it was more of my mom. This was, oh my gosh. Oh man. How long ago was that? 15, 20 years ago? I don't know. I just was thinking like, mom's going to kill me for getting a tattoo. I didn't enjoy it. I got it on the back of my arm. I didn't like the feeling of it. It wasn't like people like I got friends that are completely tatted, like neck. My one friend's a model. She's beautiful. She's a model, but she's fully tatted. And I'm like, I got the one on the back of my arm, and like I did not enjoy it. And these people like she like enjoys tattoos. Like I don't know if it's like the rush or what it is. She enjoys it. Nope, not. It's not for me. I want more, but it's just like maybe if I get super drunk or something. I don't know. Um, Tattoo, no problem. Drill away. Needle to my mouth. Stupid dental issues are in the arm. God freaking no. Yeah, I can't do my own, even my own blood. I've cut myself pretty good a few times. I'm like, oh, don't want to look at that. Um, yeah, we had a contractor, I guess, uh, deglove his finger. Um, so think of you went like this and just rip everything off, but your bone's still there. He did that to his finger at work. That was it was maybe a couple months ago. Um, I don't know what company he works for. He doesn't work for our company. He's a vendor. He basically sells us equipment, and they were adjusting the service racks, the vehicle racks. They're safety locks. So as the car goes up, if you guys ever go to a shop and you get your tires done, you might hear them raise up. You hear click 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 click. They're safety locks. These metal bars that fold down. So as the car goes up, these bars fold down and goes up and they open. That's the noise you're hearing. Is these bars. Well, ours kept getting stuck trying to get the cars off the safety locks. They wouldn't disengage. They're brand new racks. There's adjustments. So they were messing with it, and it's a metal bar. And whatever he was doing, his finger was in there, and his coworker on the other end went to lower or raise the rack, and that bar came down on his finger. And his natural instinct was to pull his hand out. Well, that metal bar came down and pinched his finger, and when he pulled, yeah. So we heard. I was actually at my toolbox. And this was the bay behind me, but it's kind of far back. Like there's a big aisle between us. Um, our shop foreman was talking to me, and we heard he didn't cuss, but he's like ah, and it was loud, and we both kind of were like, what was that? And we look, and we see him with his hand. He was holding his finger just like this, like how I am, and you could see like his eyes were big, and we're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Nope, not okay." And we're like, "What happened?" Like we thought he cut himself, and like he's bleeding real bad or something. Like all right, let's go get the blood kit out of the first aid box, and we gotta take you to urgent care and get some stitches, and then somebody was like, "What was that fell?" So, and then somebody walks over and they're like, there's a finger on the floor. So when he was holding his hand, I didn't realize, no way knew that it was like degloved. We thought he lost his whole finger. We're like, oh my, like, holy So one of the technicians calls 911. It's like, hey, a guy just lost his finger. He's awake. He's conscious. Uh, Bleeding seems to be under control. Like we got wrapped in a towel. Like, and guys like, nope. He's like, we're going to the hospital right now. He's like, I'm not waiting for an ambulance. So they were trying to stop the bleeding first. Like it was bleeding, so they got this kit out. The first aid kit is not for major accidents. It's like minor stuff. So they're like, they found this blood clot stuff that you're supposed to put on it, and they're like trying to open it. Well, at this point, I think the foreman or somebody. No. So not that point. So the guy with his hand and his coworker decided to go to the hospital themselves. Like, all right, cool. So like I ran out and like grabbed the guy that was on the phone, and I wanted like he's just driving. They're driving themselves. So he's like, all right, we don't need an ambulance. They're driving themselves to the hospital. The hospital's only like 2 minutes away or 5 minutes. Like it's pretty close, to be honest. Well, the dude forgot the finger to take with him. So our foreman went over there and picked up the finger with a glove, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then put it in our fridge. So that was delightful. And then he went through. There's a spray that's like for blood, like kills everything, like diseases and AIDS. Like it says it kills AIDS and stuff. Like it's some bleach basically. Bleach like the rack, and like the first aid box had some blood on it. Like he went through and did a proper cleanup of everything, and like so he calls the guy like, hey, like you left a finger here, and the guy's like, oh, okay, didn't come back for it. He's like, yeah, I don't think we need it. It's the guy driving. Uh, so, and then it ended up he had to come back to get it. The doctor was like, they wanted it. Dude, the next day the guy's in our shop again. His hands all bandaged, like it had like the biggest gauze ball. He was walking around like this. And completely like seemed happy go lucky. I'm like, bro, like how are you here 24 hours later? Like I'd be home for a week. Like even if you're not in pain, like go milk it. Like that's workers' comp. Go stay home. Like you got hurt on the job. Like get out of here. He's nope. And then we didn't see him for a couple weeks. We don't see him like every day. It's whenever like we need equipment. And then he was in this week. he seems to be doing good. It was still wrapped up, so I have no idea what it looks like, or how that works. But yeah, yeah. So I cut myself. Did I cut myself? I either smashed my finger or I cut myself earlier in the week. And oh, that's what it was. I don't know if you guys can, I don't know if you can see that. I bashed my knuckles. So I was breaking a bolt loose, and it was one of those things where I was looking at this. I'm like, man, if this wrench slips, I'm getting hurt. Like it's like one thing when you're going like if you slip you're going to bash like something flat. This was like all sorts of metal brackets. I'm like, this is going to f me up. And sure, as soon as I thought that, the wrench slipped, and I hit all my knuckles. And this one, my ring finger was the worst, and it was bleeding. And like when you hit your hand on, it's like stubbing toe. It's like immediate like mother effer, blah blah blah. And it was like a skin. Like I skinned my finger, so it wasn't like gushing blood or anything. I don't even think I put a band-aid on. I think I just like took a rag and stopped it or whatever. And I stopped myself. I'm like, you know what? It could have been my finger in that rack. I could be that guy, so I'm good. And so now that's how I look at stuff. Like when I do something stupid at work and like I get a cut, I'm just like, could have been my finger. I'm all right. So yeah. Zen Ginger said, yeah, proving doesn't mean they cover the full percentage, especially in instances where specialists are involved. Yeah, so that makes me also a little bit nervous about this catheter. Like, how much is this going to cost me? Because I forget what you guys called it, the dye stuff, whatever you guys called it, was almost $800, and the insurance company didn't cover any of it. So that was fun. In the $100 phone call, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to do a teleconference, a phone call, so you don't have to drive because it's a half an hour from my house, like where my cardiologist's office is. It's an hour. It's a half an hour drive. So she's like, yeah, instead of driving here, like we'll just call you. I'm like, sweet. Well, I didn't realize it was going to cost me $100. If I would have went, it would have been a $40 copay. So it would have been cheaper for me to drive the hour, even with gas prices, than just for you to call me. Insane. Like health care is, and we talked about this. I think the last live stream we talked about how horrible health care is in the United States. And now I'm living it. It's like f this, $100 for 5-minute phone call. Like car repairs are expensive, but we're I think $160 an hour on our labor rate. $100 for 5 minutes. It's crazy. So, yeah. What? So, $100 for 5 minutes. That's 5 times 12 is 60. So, 12 times 100. So, $1,200 an hour is what that technically. That's how I look at money. $1,200 an hour for a phone call. Crazy. Do not pay right away. Do not pay on threats. Tell them to keep resubmitting it, and after all that, try to get a better payoff amount. I've got 12 plus years of very extensive health issues that require me to do lots to not go broke. Yeah, so actually a coworker told me that. So my coworker said that his mom had a bunch of bills and I don't know how much in total, but he said, yeah, they end up negotiating. They're like, oh, what can you pay a month? Because right now they say my monthly payment's like $580 to pay this off of what I've done so far. And I'm like, that's just one procedure. Like, what about this next one? Like, you want me to pay $580 a month? Like, no. Sorry, like, no. Oh, nope, that's a lot of money. And he said, yeah, like, my mom had that with whatever she did, and it was a ton of money. And like, oh, well, how much can you pay a month? And they're like $100. So they end up, I don't know if they settled for less money, but at least the $500 payment that they're telling me now, if it's $100 a month, whatever, I'll pay that. That's not a big deal. But I'm not paying. And after this next visit, I mean, it could be $1,000 a month. Nope. Yeah. Oh man, my chat just jumped. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to back of the arm, rough spot, thin skin. Yeah, it was my first tattoo. It's actually my only tattoo, and horrible first tattoo. Horrible tattoo in general. I guess it's like, first tattoo stories of I mean, it's not horrible. I don't regret it. It was me and my buddies all wanted to get a tattoo. Just I'm sure like girls do it with their best friends. So I got the nautical star on the back of the arm. We all got it in the exact same spot, basically. Although my buddy, he was already like half sleeve at the time, so it was like no big deal. Me, I got one star on the back of my arm. To me, it looks stupid. I do want to fill out. I would love to have a half sleeve one day. I know what I want. Will I be able to sit through that pain? I don't know, but I do know what I actually want. Like something that actually means something to me. I know what I've wanted it for 20 years. Uh, I know the design, exactly what I want, but it's just not a priority. It's not like, oh, I gotta have that, you know. Scrolling down, let me see. Holy cow. It's almost 10 o'clock. Chevy Fish, good to see you. Gives new meaning to giving someone the finger. Yes. MTS Anonymous, good to see you. D Glove, heard of that happening behind the scenes during a Christmas shopping rush? Good advice is to never wear finger jewelry rings if working in a warehouse. Yes, so that's a big thing. A lot of mechanics wear rings that are made of like silicone. Um, I learned not the hard way, but actually in high school, my wood shop teacher, uh, all the dudes had like these chains and stuff they would wear. He would not allow you in the shop with wearing like chains. All the hoodies, which I used to wear hoodies all the time with the strings, you had to tuck those in or cut them out. He actually wanted you to rip them out of your shirt. And I don't know if I ripped mine out. I think I just would tuck them in because he ended up uh, telling us about one of the students at one point with a sweatshirt was working on a bandsaw. I think it was a bandsaw. I'm pretty sure it was a bandsaw, and was leaning forward cutting something, and the string. I think it was the string to the hoodie got sucked in the bandsaw and it sucked him down. Well, it didn't kill him or anything, but I don't know how it got caught. I don't know if he had like long hair or a fro. I don't know what he had, but his hair ended up getting into it and it scalped him. And that's all it took was him telling me that story about dude getting scalped because of his shirt. And then I realized, hey, stringy things can get stuck. So the other big thing was ID passes. They used to be on the lanyards. So we had lanyards that had breakaways. So instead of being like a one-piece lanyard, it had like a little magnetic like clasp or whatever. So that way, if you tugged on it, it would just come apart. So that way, if it got sucked into something, it would come off your neck. But jewelry, same thing. So the watch. So my Fitbit, when I used to wear it 4 years ago, this is a newer Fitbit. This is new to me. This one's I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. I bought this off my sister. So fun fact, thank you, my sister. I don't think she's watching, but when I had my first heart issue 4 years ago, she gave me an old Fitbit so I can watch my heart rate, and that was kind of like a feel good thing of mine, like a crutch, if you will. I could see my heart rate, be like, yeah, I'm not dying, and um, wore that for a long time. Then I wouldn't wear it at work because these cars, there's not much room. So like when you're sticking your arm, if like this is metal, and you're sticking your arm, you got like slide your arm in somewhere to wrench on something. Well, having this on your wrist, it hits, and so like it's hard to get your arms in some places. I don't stick my arms in places with like the engine running, so I don't have to worry about like getting it sucked into like a pulley or something. Um, I don't wear jewelry or anything. This is actually my work uniform, so it's just a t-shirt um, with pants. Matt, settle down. Um, But yeah, so if I was married, I definitely would have a rubber, silicone, whatever they're made out of rings. Um, I've seen stories like horror stories of those getting caught in something, and a lot of times you can't get them off. Like people get them put on, they never take them off, and then their hands get bigger, gain weight, and then like yeah, that just deglove. So yeah, yep. Von Yunzer says main reason I went to rubber wedding ring, merely a flesh wound. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see it. I didn't see the finger, and I didn't see the bones, so I'm glad because I probably would have been sick. Just thinking about it made me sick. Like just thinking like, what if that was me? It's the whole like that was always my anxiety of a kid. Like, what if I get hurt? And that's why I didn't take like big chances of doing crazy stuff. But Chevy Fish sounds like a guy I worked with. We had to get the finger out of the machine, still in the glove. It was sewn back on. It was fine now. Horrific injury. See, yeah, I'm glad that he immediately went like that. Because if I was standing there and I saw Skeletor, hey guys, I would have been out. I would have been like, done. Done. MTS says tattoo story. Guy goes to drug legal Amsterdam, gets wasted, goes for a MJ leaf tattoo on chest, passes out, wakes up in an alleyway with large pineapple tattoo on his front. Yes. Was that you, MTS? I'm just curious. Sounds like somebody you know. We'll just say asking for a friend. Liquid Zoo says, I don't wear rings, keeps the ladies wondering. So I know you're dealing with heart problems and such, but you should work on getting some stickers for us members. I need special emojis. How do I do that? I mean, I didn't know that's a thing. Stickers? Like you talking about like super stickers? Inform me. I don't know. I'm not turning on the other computer screen, which is starting to. I don't know if you guys can hear that right now. That it's a high pitched whine. I had two screens. I built a new computer and I got the new graphics card like a year ago to help editing, which it does awesome. So glad I waited the 3 months to get it or whatever it was. But when I bought it, it turned out my monitors were so old it doesn't work with new computer stuff. So I had to get a new monitor. Super sweet new monitor. Can't believe I've been missing out on technology for the last 20 years. Old monitor, I had two. One was a nice one was an okay one. And I keep it vertical for the text chat boxes. Everything worked fine. And then I go flip it vertical, I guess, portrait mode. And all of a sudden now it's got this whine. There's no moving parts to it, so I don't know what the whine is. Um, but after it warms up, it goes away. But I'm like, great, the second monitor is going bad. I threw away the other one. The other monitor was sold like they literally sell for $5 on like Marketplace, and even then, like there's a bunch of them for sale for $5. I'm like, it's not worth it. Like I would post it free if anybody needs a computer monitor, and I would get 50 people that would say I want it, and then nobody would come get it. And the reason I say that is I had furniture. My old roommate, when he moved out, he left this reclining chair. It was in great condition. Left it here for me, and I used it. And then I'm like, all right, I finally bought my own furniture. He gave it to me, so I'm like, I'm gonna give this away. No rips, no stains, no tears, nothing wrong with it. Not even like a crease in it, because we never actually sat in it. We sat on the couches. Um, Posted for free. Like 20 people said they wanted it. I'm like, cool. There's so many people that want it. I know people are gonna flake. I'm gonna set it outside. Come get it. Not a single person came to get it. Not a single one. So after that, I'm like, yeah, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it. Ooh, Chevy Fish said I had a wraparound snake ring on, and it got ripped off my fingers so fast that it ripped straight off before I could even react. Thank goodness it was a coil. The machine totally straightened it out flat. That's Yeah. Yeah, I've had a real close call that I don't even want to mention about since my family watches this. My friends and like know about it. I had a real close call that after that happened, I'm like, I don't want to say I'm lucky to be alive, but I'm probably pretty lucky right now. And real eye opener experience. Not work related. It wasn't work related. That was 20 years ago. 20? No. 15 years ago. I don't know. Special emojis that only update on EIN Blue Moon. What? In it. Oh, update in a blue moon. My best advice: Google. Zen. Google. You know what? I can't even fault you for that because when family members ask me about problems, I say, "Did you Google it?" YouTube membership emojis? Question mark. Google members will gain access to one or more exclusive custom emojis that can be sent via YouTube and comments. Emotes. They're called emotes. How? All right, Zen. Since you brought it up, let me log in. Apparently, this has been a thing since 2019. Whoops. What? It's a weird comment on one of my videos. I had a little notification bell, and like I told you guys, I don't like seeing the red notification. So, like, when I get the notification, like, somebody commented on your video. Um, it was on it's actually on this channel, on the SC Aquatics channel. It's the bedliner paint video. It's actually my number one video. I get comments on it like every 2 days, a comment about something. Um, it says, "What's a gun you live in Iraq?" Question mark. Apparently, I live in Iraq. It must be the beard. Iraqi. I work with an Iranian. We have one of my coworkers, good guy. He's from Iran. Actually, from Iran. Like, lived in Iran. Works with us. Went to lunch together today. He's a good dude. I don't know how old he is. I think he's younger than me. Nice guy. Okay, what was I doing? Emotes, just for Zen. That's not what I want. I don't know how to do this. I'm not professional. Memberships. Badges and emoji. Upload your own badges. Emoji. Select image. Oh, like I actually add my own picture as an emoji? Emoji name is wow. Members can type, what was that, wow, to make it appear? I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can have 6 of them, right? 3, 6. All right, so I guess I need pictures. So I'm gonna not do that during this live stream. Can somebody message me, whoever's got me on Messenger, and to remind me to do that this weekend? I don't know what I would put. All right, so I do know one picture is going to be Charlotte. Everybody loves Charlotte. One will be Havana. So we can have Charlotte going across the screen, and then I don't know what to do with the other pictures. So tell me what I should do. I'll let the members tell me what to do for the pictures. You guys let me know what you want. Okay, let me get back to the chat. I'm squirreling. At SC Aquatics, you never answered me. How many more babies you got for sale from that tank behind you? Um, well, to be honest, the original, not original. So Matt's got the original three that I had. I had three babies. He got the original three. Um, then I guess second wave. There's 9 of them. I can probably sell all 9 of them. They're kind of on size. So like, there's one guy's. I mean, to me, he's pretty hefty. Because I'm used to these tiny little babies. So he's get tape measure out because I'm always like, oh, he's an inch long. And then once I look at a tape measure, I'm like, oh, he's probably like inch and a quarter, inch and a half, like tail to nose, inch and a half maybe. He's not 2 inches, inch and a half ish. There's one that's an inch and a half. There's one that's probably like an inch and a quarter. All the other ones of those 9 are definitely like an inch, inchish. And then there's the third generation, we'll call it. They're babies. They're still in the cave with Papa. But I saw. Oh, let's. You won't be able to see them. I'm gonna just look real quick while I'm thinking about it. So it looks like they're out of the cave. I don't see them in the cave. Oh yeah. So big. Oh, tape measure. The big guy's right here on the front. I'm gonna actually put the tape measure right next to him. We'll see. I mean, you won't see, but I'll see. He is tip to tail, inch and a half. Is the bigger guy. I guess I could just turn the light on. And there's a baby. He's definitely tiny. Yeah, there's. Oh my gosh, guys! I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, I'm using a flashlight. 10, 11. I'm sorry, this is boring, but it's exciting me. 11, 12. So I see 12 babies right now of varying sizes, but there's 12. That's, yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, so there's a lot. One of the originals was DOA. Remember, depending on price, I would take 4 though. Yeah. So I mean, out of the original, I shipped the original 3. Two made it. One of the bags broke. Depending on price, I would take 4 though. I'll hook you up on 4 of them. Mickey says I was doing mandatory military services with a super nice Iranian guy, an immigrant. He taught us a lot about real combat situation. He had experience from fighting in the Iraq-Iran war, 1980 question mark. I don't know the date. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this guy's super nice. I don't think he was in the military. What's funny is I heard him talking about something about what's it called when you have to do military, like I guess you're forced into like a year of service when you turn 18. I heard him say something about that, and I don't know if that was in Iran that they have to do the forced service when you're 18, or if it was somewhere else. I heard him say it, but I don't think he was in the military. I don't know. He went to like college and stuff over there, if I remember correctly. Um, and then he came over here. And I think he worked for like Toyota maybe, and then he came to our store and worked for Subaru, and then he went from Subaru to Audi. Conscription. That's pretty much the term. There we go. Man, you guys Von Yenzer says, this is one of the streams I'm really unhappy with if I have to deal with missing in any way, shape, or form. SC is one of the best in my honest opinion. Well, thank you so much. Skeleton finger flipping the bird. And then Chevy Fish with the squirrel emoji. That should be an emoji. Yeah. Or sticker. Sticker emote. That's what it's called. Drafted? That's conscription, I think, is the word. You have to do it. Stephen, and also I have another friend. He is a consultant, doctor, professor, specialist in heart issues. Just tell me if I can help you with any answers or info from him. Well, thank you so much, Mickey. Appreciate it. Luckily, I mean, I'm feeling like, to be honest, I'm feeling pretty good. This is honestly last couple weeks is the best I've felt in like 6 months. To be fair. Does anybody watch Letterkenny? If not, check it out. It's on Hulu. I know that. It's a comedy show. That's what I was thinking. Von User said, drafting is more of an unlucky lottery. Conscription is a mandatory service. Yep. How do I know that Texas Fish Room would respond? Great show. It is funny. They live in Canada. They're I was gonna say farmers, but like, are they really farmers? Like they have a farm. They have a little like fruit. What do you call that? Stand, fruit stand, a farmer stand. I don't know, it's just funny. To me, it's funny. It might be one of those humors where like you got to get it to like it. You know what I mean? Because like there's yeah, I don't know. To me, it's hilarious, but Von Yunzer, you probably like it. It's funny. I've meant to. You meant to check out Letterkenny for some time. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Trailer Park Boys I loved for a long time, as well as their other show, Drunk Hitch and on Drugs. Never seen it. I've never even seen Trailer Park Boys. I know a lot of people that have watched it and liked it. I don't even know what it's about. I mean, I'm guessing it's about dudes from Trailer Park, but uh, drunk, high, and on drugs. Got it. I've never seen it, so that's something that I should probably look into. I find myself watching a lot of stuff on, like mainly YouTube. I last like few months since I've been like so like anxiety ridden and like not doing anything but like I have a pillow and blanket on. Well, I don't use it anymore, but I was basically sleeping on the couch because I just couldn't function. And I was watching documentaries on YouTube, like uh, some random ones. Like I got into this World War II series, and it's not like like D-Day. It was like the about the factories, like the German factories, how they were hiding them in the woods and stuff. And it was like one of the series of that was like current day them exploring the abandoned facilities, stuff like that. I always thought was really interesting. Um, my ex-wife thought that it was a effed up documentary when it first hit, but I was like, no, it's not. It is awesome and ridiculous. Trailer Park Boys is better than Letterkenny. Okay. Texas Fish Room, if you guys didn't know, is from Texas. I'm gonna take his word for it, and I'm gonna have to watch it. I mean, Von Yinzer also had to take his word for it too. Zen Ginger said, "Depression sleeping is the worst. You can't get up and do anything, so you just lay there and in turn feel even more unproductive, which in turn gives you more anxiety." Yeah. So it's like Yeah, that was like the worst part was the not having energy to get up to do anything, and it's like, man, I didn't do today. Um, a lot of times when Charlotte wakes me up at 7:30 on a Saturday, I used to be able to get up and do stuff, and I would be like, man, I did so much stuff today. This is awesome. And then it was like, this weekend's come and gone, and I haven't done nothing but cut the grass. Like, horrible. It's like one of those things where like it sucks, but it's like you can't do anything about it. So I'm glad that's kind of come and gone. Now I just want um, the energy, I guess, to come back. All right, dude, we are going on like it's got to be almost 2 hours now. When did my YouTube says I started streaming 30 minutes ago, so that's not right. All right, where are we at? 105 minutes ago, which I don't know if that's right or not. But anyways, we're going to call this a night. Um, yeah. So that's why I haven't been around. I guess that's the not cliff notes. That's the ending. That's why I haven't been around that much. Hopefully it changes. I still have crap ton of fish tanks. I still want to sell the house. That was not like a bluff or anything. That's something I would want to do. I still kind of really want to sell my house and live in a trailer on my friend's farm and save a bunch of money and then buy my own property. And so, if I could live in the trailer, I say trailer like it's a nice camper, super nice. If I could live in it for a couple years and save thousands of dollars a month, and doing that, then I can buy my own property. Then I can have. I just want a barn dominium. The end goal is a barn dominium. Uh, then I can have big fish tanks, and that'd be sweet. And maybe a basement, but serious deep dive into weirdness. Hopefully, we will see you around more. This stream is one of my favorites. I will. I definitely want to be around for sure. Um, Probably not next Friday because I'll be recovering from the heart cath procedure. I don't know what. I guess procedure like it's not like a surgery, right? Not like minor. It would be like minor surgery. It's not really a surgery. Outpatient. I don't know. I'm awake for it, which kind of sucks. But I will be sedated. It says like patients are sedated. I like. Well, I have anxiety, so you're going to have to heavily sedate me, please and thank you. So yeah, that's next Friday. But anyways, guys, I will see you when I see you. Havana is now awake. She's sitting right here in my lap with her head. She probably wants something. But thanks for the super chats tonight, guys, and the memberships and all that stuff. It's going to help support these bills for sure. So I appreciate you guys. Let me see if I get this phone out because I was going to try to show you the dogs real quick. Okay, we're going to flip flop. Flip flop. Boom. And then I have this blanket down there for the dogs, and of course they lay next to it instead of on it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. I will see you when I see you. Thanks for all the support and kind words and all that stuff. But I'll see you guys. Peace.